You guys asked for it. I'm so excited for this. We're going to be doing the miter station. A few months ago, we took a vote on what you guys would like to see next. Miter station 1. So, we got this. The original plan was to build a miter station around the current miter saw that we have. Problem is, it's just really old, the arms are loose, and after you set it square, it goes out of square very quick. And because we just have so many projects planned, we decided we should probably just get a new one now. In this video, I'm going to show you and talk about all the features this saw has, all the things I love about it, the couple of things I'm not a huge fan, and one thing that I absolutely hate that no one seems to talk about. The first thing we should talk about is the price of the saw. It is not a cheap saw. There's definitely cheaper out there. I was lucky enough to get it on sale for $750 after tax. Normally, it's about $850 after tax, Canadian. Bang for the buck though, I would argue it's probably the best. I totally missed that. There's a reason why I didn't go into professional sports. This knob, when tightened, locks the miter saw in place at the desired miter angle that you want, or crosscut. This clamp, I honestly wish Bosch didn't even send it. It's utterly useless. It would take so long to spin up and down that it makes it pointless. If this isn't the first time you're watching a Bosch miter saw review, you already know the dust collection isn't great. But as for the dust collection bag, I honestly have no problems with it. It works fine. Now it's time for the fun stuff. The things that are great about this saw. First off, it came perfectly square, vertically and horizontally. But if your saw does not come square, luckily there are ways to adjust it. I plan on going over that in a setup video. Here's another amazing thing about this saw, not having to reach to the back to change the bevel angle. It's simply pull this lever and then adjust it. With the lever up, you can go to the left. If you want to go to the right, you have to turn this knob clockwise. The saw normally only allows you to do a 45-degree bevel, but if you turn this knob counterclockwise facing towards you, you can actually go to a 47-degree angle. This saw does have locking detents for the bevel angle. Just pull this knob, push it in while rotating, and it should lock into place. Or you can set it to the angle you want and lock the handle back down. If you turn the knobs behind the adjustable fence, you can easily move it and they slide so nicely. Make sure you do move them out of the way before you do any bevel cuts or you will damage your fence and your saw. Trust me. I probably won't use the bevel cut very often, but it sure is a nice thing to have it so conveniently in the front and just works so well. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss the miter station build. I promise you're going to love it, especially if you like the outfeed table build. Thanks for all the support, it means a lot to us. We're just two nobodies trying to show you our woodworking journey from not knowing anything to hopefully knowing quite a bit and enjoying it along the way. These extendable supporting arms are absolutely wonderful. They're made of metal, they're level, they're great. Unfortunately for me, I won't be using them. I'll be building a miter station, so these become pretty useless. If you plan on using them, they are really well made. This saw does come with a depth stop. You simply turn the knob as far as you want it to go, then pull that lever out and it'll stop at that point. Simply push it back in and it's back to its normal use. This is great for cutting dados, rabbets, grooves, or relief cuts. Now let's talk about the reason why I bought this saw. The creme de la creme. The axial glide arms. First, it can go up against the wall, saving so much space. It slides so smoothly, you'd have to use it to see what I'm talking about. Honestly, it slides a little too easy, but luckily, that is also adjustable. And if you want to use it as a chop saw, simply flip this lever and then it's a chop saw. Ingenious idea. Also, if you just want to lock it down in place when you're done using it, you can just push this button. Simply pull it out when you're ready to use it again. Now it's time to talk about the miter portion of the miter saw. To adjust the miter angle, simply pull the trigger up and adjust. It has lots of locking detents, as you can see, for all the common miter angles that you might use. The build quality is excellent. You have a perfectly flat surface to work on. Can't say that's the case for all miter saws. I've heard complaints about the handle and the trigger system. I personally like it. It's ambidextrous, it fits my hand great. If you had small hands, I could see this maybe being an issue. Now, let's go back to the dust collection. Yes, as everyone mentions in their video, it's not the greatest. But compared to my previous saw that didn't have a dust collection system and it just flew everywhere, this is a massive improvement. There are better dust collection systems out there. One of the ones that I'm interested in is by Shop Nation. It looks like he's upgraded the design since I've last looked, but I am very interested in using it. This video is not sponsored by anyone. Travis from Shop Nation probably doesn't even know I exist. Just to show you one more time how accurate this saw came out of the box, no adjustments, I'm going to show you here. To find out if something you have is square, simply draw a line on one side, flip it over, and then draw it on the other. If there's only one line, it's square. If you see two, I would throw that square out. My goal with this cut is to leave a little bit of the pencil mark on, just enough to see. If you can see the pencil mark all the way down, it's perfectly straight. Before all that, it's time to talk about the thing that I absolutely hate about this saw, that very few people mention, and I haven't heard anyone complain about it. It just doesn't plunge far enough down. And unless you push the saw all the way down and all the way back, it won't cut all the way through. Just like it did here. And in my opinion, there's no reason for this. They could either made the saw plunge a little bit farther, or go a little bit farther back, to completely avoid this issue. I'm hoping in the future I get used to it, but as of right now, it's super frustrating and keeps happening. I haven't seen any way to adjust this either. With the worst thing about this saw out of the way, I would rate this saw a solid 9.1 out of 10. Although not perfect, it's amazing. It's still early. I may find more things I don't like, or I might find more things that I love. I'm planning on making another video where we set up the miter saw, make all the adjustments necessary, insert the zero clearance, and change the saw blade out, which I'm hoping will fix the issue of not cutting all the way through.